anything that when we, as vampires, when you create, you are also responsible for them, which would also state that his sins are, Dr. McTavish's sins may not be his own. They are his maker's responsibility. And they should be they should be the ones held responsible for any matter that this poor person is on trial for.
Did you or did you not express concerns about Dr. Charlotte Lamb's own character after it was brought to your attention by her coterie that she is addicted to the consumption of human organs? Court is adjourned for, an hour while they deliberate. And you're not quite sure which way it'll go. Hello, and welcome back to the Court of Cups.
We're joining the Anarchs.
All of us.
We've been talking during the break. And we're bringing down the system.
Yeah, all of us.
Dismantling it. So you come back from your recess. The deliberation is complete. And you are informed that the deliberation is not going to be, or the final sort of verdict is not going to be announced to everyone. So they basically dismissed the public. And by the public, I mean the handful of kindred that showed up for this. And when you re-enter the courtroom, for lack of a better word, it's more of like a council room, I guess. It's just you and Nell. And Nell kind of slides over a piece of paper, kind of in a manila envelope, that she's like, there you go. And you get the impression from kind of looking at her that at this point she's kind of operating a little bit as a bailiff, just to make sure that, you don't do the thing that Charlotte said she was going to do, which is murder everybody. When you open the folder and look at the paper, Charlotte, basically the gist you get from it is that the council has chosen the verdict of not destroying, for lack of a better word, Mr. McTavish. However, they've also not sort of ruled to let him run free. They thought you made some good points, and they also felt that the other council made some good points, and that essentially this is now your responsibility. From what you can glean from what they've outlined in this really long sort of document they've sent you, or have given you, I should say, is that you have a few different options available to you. You can choose to sort of take responsibility for McTavish on your own, or seek out his sire, or find another elder or, sort of a senior member in the city to take McTavish under their wing and keep an eye on them. In the meantime, his sort of upkeep is left to you. And should he have an episode, for lack of a better word, and do anything crazy, it's basically going to be your neck specifically on the line. There isn't anything in this document regarding your own sort of mild masquerade breach. But it's safe to assume that that's a different case for a different day. And Nell just kind of leans on the desk and she's like, not terrible, all things considered.
We did it.
We could put him in the cells until we figure out
We
something
got
else.
a pet.
Did Nell explicitly say that that Charlotte had a breach?
In the document, it doesn't say anything like that. That was more just me as a storyteller kind of
okay.
alluding to like, that's kind of what Vanessa was driving at, is that the attention you've garnered in the newspaper should be considered a breach. Also, based off of how she had called in for Renee for questioning earlier in the week, which she had kind of talked about in her presentation, you get the idea that people are talking about it, that there's obviously something's happening in the tabloids, people showing up at the hospital with kidneys missing and stuff like that, this is something that they're looking into, but it's not addressed specifically in the piece of paper that she's given you.
Okay. Hey guys, how do you feel about adopting another vampire?
Mm.
I'm not thrilled.
We don't
Do you know if he's good at making coffee?
I'm
You
okay
sure
with
you guys
want
want
to
to keep him around?
No,
should
I'm okay with
pawn
putting
him
him
off
in
on
the
someone
cells.
else.
We should
Yeah,
probably pawn him off.
Yeah, where's his
that's what I was gonna
fire?
say. Like, we should put him in the cell and find someone else, and then shoo him away.
Can we like do the vampire equivalent of cryogenically freezing him until a cure is found? By which I
That's a
mean
sword
stake him and bury him somewhere.
We could do that.
You probably nice to have a nice rest. You know, he's had a busy couple of weeks. Give him
Like
a
that?
rest cure.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I don't super want him like around the shop. He did try and kill me. I mean, I tried to kill him right back.
A
but he
version
tried
of
to kill
him
me
did.
first.
I
Yeah.
stabbed him with a
Yeah.
broomstick, so
I still don't think we're even.
no, I'm not saying we're even. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know, I had to do that to protect everyone. So
Yeah, it's not the safest. And like our cells are pretty good, but if we leave him in that cell for long enough, he'll figure a way out of it. Like he's a vampire. He
We
can
could
probably turn invisible. He can, one of the staff could find him and let him out. All kinds of stuff could happen.
I'm
He's probably
interested
going to get bored. I don't have to bring him like reading stuff and people to eat.
Well, if we stake him, it might be also very interesting to see how his alternate personality responds to that.
oh,
Same. Well,
Like-
yeah, that'd be weird. Like if his alternate personality isn't staked. I feel like he's only got the one heart that they share. If we stake
Yeah.
that, we should be fine.
I don't think it physically works.
Let's
We won't tell him that this is what's happening, right?
no.
Yeah, he's
Um,
not
we
here, right?
Yeah. Anybody that's like sort of that's paying attention, I guess, make a intelligence and I guess awareness roll.
Anyone who's paying attention.
Yeah, like if you think your character would be like in on these deliberations versus like, I don't really care what we do with them.
Oh,
Oh, not a great pull for me.
I have.
Or is it
a s-
intelligence and
Awareness.
Awareness.
Mhm.
okay?
I have a skull and a no.
Okay.
So
No,
both
I don't
no.
notice anything. I'm fully self-involved.
Oh, I think that's a
Oh,
wait, did you get a critical fail?
Well, I got this and a blank, so it's not
Yeah,
two
that's a-
skulls.
Yeah, it's a critical fail.
Oh, I critical failed, so I just lost my brain.
it just
Went
falls
deaf.
out. Well,
I
I
went deaf.
got
I
I
don't
got
know.
a crit, so
I got a regular
I got
fail.
2 successes.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Let me see here. It happens.
I don't know
so
what the
rare.
fuck that would do. For why do we always do this on weird rolls where it's like
Mhm.
hard to determine what the outcome would be? like
Yeah, it's never a nice simple one, is it? It's always something that's going to
Right.
require deliberation.
I wasn't just I'm gonna jump to the top of this building. Okay,
You
you failed.
don't.
You
You don't.
critically failed. You broke your leg. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like critical fails are like very
It was also on a blood dice.
Yeah. That's a
Just
a bestial
FYI,
failure.
yeah.
Yeah, bestial fail. That's the
Yeah.
you are right. That's the word.
You
Okay,
can't
give
just
me-
not pay attention. You're super not paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm just gone. I just left. Like, I went home.
You don't notice that everyone else has left. And you're just standing there talking to yourself.
Probably, yeah. That's another option. I could just be like,
That's happened to me before. Like when I was at school, I once fell asleep in class and the teacher got everyone to leave.
Mhm.
And then I woke up and was mildly terrified.
I bet.
Okay, so this is okay, here we go. This is where that part of your sheet that very rarely you see comes into play,
Uh-oh.
which is most of the time in this case, you have to act out a compulsion. It's that part of your sheet that's like very much like,
Do I have that sheet? Wait, where? What sheet is it?
It's the same for everyone in your clan,
Yes.
I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's tied to like who it's tied to like where like, you know, it's one of those times where your clan comes into play.
It's in the
Well-
blood.
Yeah.
I don't have my damn book open. Hold on.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Like I said, this doesn't happen very often, so you'll have to excuse me.
No, no, it's fine.
So
I feel like that's always what happens with us. I was like, this
Yeah.
doesn't happen often.
Yeah, we're the edge case coterie.
Yeah.
so usually this like for Bruja, this kind of plays out as rage a lot of the time.
All right. Here we go.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let's
Good
get
thing I
rid of
healed
it.
my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna start
So-
a fight.
Well, I don't mean to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I'm gonna ask you, you know, as a character,
Yeah.
who do you think you would be most upset at in this situation? Is
Renee.
it Renee? Okay. He's not in the immediate vicinity.
Oh.
So I think like based off of deliberating on what the fate of McTavish is going to be, do you think Ulrika would be more angry at Dr. Charlotte kind of dumping this burden on your lap and
Mhm.
kind of endangering like this? Or do you think you would be more angry at Dogfood for being so like kind of casual or off the cuff about it? Or do you think you would be, you know, like upset at Nell for like, I mean, she hasn't really deliberated for telling you to pawn it off on someone else, actually. You know, because that was kind of her suggestion was like, oh, you could just pawn it off on someone else. I am curious to hear what Elizabeth's idea was because she had a success.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
give you that tidbit of information from your intelligence and awareness roll. What Elizabeth knows just from like what she has heard is that staking is a pretty good way to keep a kindred on ice. But there are a couple of issues with that. Number one, and I don't know if the first one would bother Elizabeth or not, the kindred is conscious for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit cruel.
It bothers
Um,
Elizabeth because it happened to her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the other part, which is a bit more of a, I guess, like a mechanical thing that I'm giving you as players and characters, is Elizabeth would know that when you are staked and still conscious, before you fall into torpor, you can still use a lot of your dominate abilities. And you would know this because you're a master of that.
yeah.
So you can still use a lot of your sort of aspects in those sort of fields that don't require you to move. You can still issue commands and do stuff like that if you can communicate telepathically. And based off of some of the proficiencies McTavish has already shown, it occurs to you that staking isn't it's a solution. I don't want to turn you away from that, but I also don't want you to think as players like, oh, we'll stake him and then nothing will happen.
Yeah.
It's that, you know, he can still put the whammy on you to use.
Right. Yeah. I kind of I kind of tell everyone that I feel like he is dangerous, so we should stake him, but we need to put him in a closet until we find his sire, because that's who should ultimately take care of his problem. Is his sire.
So he spoke to us about his sire being his brother, but we sort of know that isn't true, don't we?
I think so.
because him and his brother exist in the same body. So do we have any leads on who his sire is? I don't think we do.
No, we're gonna have to find it, I think.
Yes. But before we do that, Ulrika.
Who am I mad at?
Yeah, normally your reaction to this would be, that's a stupid idea. But with that bestial failure, it's like, God, what a stupid fucking idea. Why would you waste our fucking time with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed at this whole thing. Like, I feel inconvenienced and that I'm bored, and I am just like annoyed at Charlotte, I guess, because we got pulled into this. But I only because I bestial failed, not because I have my wits about me.
Okay.
I lost my wits.
Okay. So you, and I mean, like, Ulrika's a little bit of a puncher. So as you're all sitting here debating what to do with this sort of information, Nell kind of standing over you, you get angry because now you've managed to fly underneath the radar of the ivory tower for a while now,
and I almost just died.
Yeah, and you almost just died, and now you have to worry about this idiot that you have to figure out how to lock up in your basement or do whatever with, when it wasn't your problem to begin with, and now it is your problem and it shouldn't be. And now the Camarilla is watching you very closely. They're watching the doctor very closely because there may be a masquerade breach involved, and you get angry and you swing at her.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Tabitha is sorry. Ulrika's pissed.
Yeah.
Can if I see this, because I'm kind of like on like high etiquette mode right now. Like, I don't want anyone to like look like they're unhinged in the court. Like to these, like because my politics, I have like a bunch in politics.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is not what we need right now. Can I try and like grab her fist?
Yes. So go ahead and do an opposed roll. Also,
Okay.
What do I
Charlotte,
roll?
you can do a roll as well. So for you, don't you have the ability where you always go first in battle?
I don't know.
Rapid
Or who? The fleetness?
I think Ulrika does.
But I didn't activate it though.
Yeah. Let me double check. There's one that's like always active just because you're faster, and then there's one that's like you have to activate. And I forget. I always get confused between.
I think it's rapid reflexes. I could be wrong.
Oh, you're right. It is rapid reflexes.
I don't have that. Only if I had
so you're good.
on.
You're good. So go ahead and roll your dexterity and your brawl.
Okay.
Which I have 0.
I have no brawl.
So me is as well, dexterity and brawl.
No, that'll be your roll. And
okay.
And Elizabeth, your roll will be your wits to see if you can see what's like happening.
Yeah.
And then your awareness to see if you like if you have like, hey, what the like you're like on high alert.
Okay.
And then I'll say it's the same for Dr. Lamb. It'll be wits and awareness.
Okay.
Like, if you see it coming.
I rolled 3 dice and I got a crit and a success.
Damn it.
But it's all blood dice.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it being blood dice is fine.
I only got 1 success.
I got 1 success.
So you said you got a crit and 1 success. That's 5 successes.
Yeah. You can't even.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Cool. Could you roll like worse when we like need to stop this?
Yeah. So here's what happens.
Look at Patrick's face.
It becomes like that moment in the council chamber in Rivendell and Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Where like everyone's arguing over what to do with the professor. And Ulrika's hungry, tired, been carved from rib to chest. And she gets angry and she swings. Now, don't worry that you only rolled 1 success, Elizabeth, because that is going to help here.
Okay.
You try to push or stop Ulrika, and you do manage to like veer her off course a little. She's like going for the face, but it doesn't happen. The doctor sees what's happening, so you get to reduce this by 2. But you take 3 superficial damage as Ulrika's sort of like Yeah, you rolled really well on 3
Sorry.
die. You literally rolled as well as you could have on 3 die.
I know.
All right.
And her fist just comes up into your ribs, and
Ow.
you hear like a sickening crack and a crunch
Oh.
as you feel your bones like kind of move inward. And it's like hard for you to like stand upright. And then you see Nell, like just kind of like her hand comes out very firmly on your wrist, like very fast, very firm. And her eyes have like a cold fire in them that you haven't seen before, Ulrika.
Mm-hmm.
And she just says, simmer.
Simmer.
Fine.
Like a PE teacher.
And as she draws her hand away, you notice like there's like fingerprints on your wrist
Mm-hmm.
from like the force with which she grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
Dogfood just hisses at you. What the fuck?
Like you had an episode.
Oh boy. I'm like, friendly shoulder punch amongst friends. I'm trying to like loudly like cover this up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna use all my persuasion to try and cover this shit up.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm just like, oh, what's so funny? Yes, that time. I remember that time that you jabbed Charlotte right in the ribs.
Yeah.
Great reaction. Yes, look just like it.
I thought it would bring back some fun times.
Look just like it.
Yep. Great memories.
With how high your dots in persuasion are, I'm not even gonna make you roll for this. You notice Nell kind of like gets her hackles down a little bit. For a second there, she's just like, oh God, am I gonna have to beat the brakes off of these newbies? And then she's
Oh
like,
my God. We love the Camarilla. Let's go.
Charlotte.
We love the authorities here.
listen, I know it sucks, but it's as good of an outcome as you could have. Well, no, the best outcome would have been if somebody here had taken responsibility for this idiot, not, you. Or if we had sent him back to the city he came from or something like that. This is not ideal, but it is a better solution than I think the one you were wanting. And she looks at you, Charlotte. You're really invested in this dude, aren't you?
It seems so.
Why don't you marry him?
You shut the
What are
fuck
you,
up.
5?
At this moment, yes. I've had a hard couple of days or whatever the hell.
Ulrika, let's take you home and get you a latte. Why would you like that?
Yes.
Okay. I like put my arm around her like a very motherly, and I'm just like, let's get you home. You're a little peckish.
Fine.
Charlotte will 100% try to also say, like, I understand you're frustrated.
God,
Bye. I'm gonna get a latte with mom.
I like escort her out of the room.
Before I leave, since I have 5 out of 5 superficial damage, I would like to. Can I heal?
Yes. Yeah, you just make a rouse check. For. Wait, let me. I'm like wondering. trying to remember if it's a rouse check for every. I have like a neat little cheat sheet here that I can draw on. Okay, so. Here we go. You can rouse your blood to heal wounds, and so you can rouse up to your blood, you can heal up to your blood potency.
Okay, and that is the open or closed.
No, close. So 1.
1. All right. I heal 1.
Awesome. Yeah, the kindred with higher blood potency can heal faster, and they're a little bit more powerful, but the trade-off is they have less humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So they tend to look a little more
spooky.
Yeah. It's harder for them to pass as human. They probably look like the characters from What We Do in the Shadows. We're on a visual, inspection. You're like,
Something's not quite right.
Something's not right here.
Can I take Ulrika aside?
Yeah, of course.
I already went to go get hot cocoa.
She's outside. I'm walking.
Okay,
I'm
going to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dogfood literally just said that she would protect Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to say to her, like, it's fine if you want to swing for me. and we'll have our little brawls, and it's all in good fun.
Why is it okay for you to fuck with Charlotte,
Nope.
not me?
I'm telling you right now.
Why
that
is
if
it
you do-
okay for you to fuck with Charlotte, not me?
If you do that again, I will fucking dog
No
walk you.
one is going to do anything. We are going home. Would you like a latte, dog food?
I'm good.
I'm
It's
gonna turn on Daunt.
no.
Mm. So as you turn on Daunt and kind of like face Dogfood down, Dogfood, roll for a, let's see, like provocation. Roll for provocation.
Okay.
No one gets
Is that? Am I rolling my willpower?
no one.
Yes, I believe it's your willpower as well as your.
Hey, I was all
resolve.
down for hot cocoa.
Okay, I have decent resolve.
I'm going to just like pull out a cigarette and just walk away. Smoke and just leave. I'm like, I'm leaving. No one gets a latte. Goodbye.
Oh, actually, it's your willpower versus I guess the trigger severity.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, I'll leave this to you. Do you think the severity would be 1 because, or do you think it would be closer to like, this like,
I
do
think
you
this
feel
is
like Charlotte's in danger and this is like really upsetting to you?
This
that
is
you
really
won't-
upsetting to Dogfood.
Okay. So
she's
yeah.
And I think she would definitely see turning on Daunt as a challenge.
Okay.
Because you can kind of tell when it's gone on, right? Like she
Oh,
knows
yeah, it looks
Ulrika. She
spookier.
knows, oh, she suddenly got scary.
Yeah.
I think that like the low humanity bestial part of Dogfood is now wants to put Ulrika in her place.
Yeah. You're assuming the place of the alpha almost. Like you've gotta take care of the pack. Okay. So it'll be your willpower with against a difficulty of 2.
Okay. So that is, I got 3 unspelled willpower. So let's.
How did you spend so much?
I only have 4 to begin with.
Oh.
So
okay.
I spent 1. I have composure is actually my dump stat. Dogfood isn't great at keeping it together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So it's up to you how I'm gonna give you the agency to figure out how you handle it because I don't always feel comfortable with but this is like you tried to bark to establish order and one of the dogs in the pack has the ears back, teeth bared, and won't fall in line.
So Dogfood's going to do an all-out attack.
Okay.
But without claws,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
but just try and subdue Ulrika very like as quickly as possible.
Okay. Ulrika, what I'm not gonna say that, this auto hits and you are expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
You turned on the Daunt, you are facing Dogfood. Or what do? Do you so an all-out attack is basically you forfeit your dodge to deal deal damage as my understanding from it. Are you more cautious about this or do you also just or do you just go
no,
full
I
range?
turn on can I turn on fleetness and get out of the way, or is that 2 things? I don't want to.
No. Yeah,
okay.
you could activate your fleetness and then do a dodge attempt. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So lots of combat. We haven't encountered any enemies.
Supposed to have a fucking birthday party.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Dogfood.
We don't get a birthday party. No one's
roll.
No.
Roll your Dex and Brawl, and since you are doing an all-out attack, you get +1 to the damage you're going to deal, but you don't get any defense die. However, if you fail, it gives +1 to the enemy because you've left yourself vulnerable. However, Ulrika's not attacking you, so I think you'll be good on that account. Ulrika, go ahead and do a rouse check to activate your fleetness.
I am not hungry.
Perfect. So you can now add as many dots as you have in celerity to your, I guess, your defensive athletics roll that we're going to do here.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your Dex and your, let's see. Okay, because technically this says says non-combat dexterity roll or defensive athletics roll. Okay, so it does work. I'm trying to think. I guess it would be brawl.
Okay. I don't have any dice on that, so that's okay.
Okay. The other thing I think it could potentially be is insight, because you know dog food. So I know that insight is not usually a combat dot, but it's one of those things where I feel like Ulrika put on Daunt knowing and considering how many spats you've had with dog food, knowing like dog food's a likelihood of taking a swing at you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to add your insight dice to your dexterity, and then as well as 2 extra for celerity, I'll allow it.
Okay, that's just 1, so it's not like
okay.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes.
I'm gonna burn a willpower and re-roll 3 dice.
Yeah.
This is important, dog food.
God damn.
I'm just still walking away. I'm so mad.
Yeah, Mom's
so
not
over
breaking
this.
this up.
Mom is so mad. She's not taking the kids home, giving them treats, anything.
I was just trying to innocently go get a
No.
latte because
You're fighting at Vampire City Hall.
No, I know. I'm like, I can't even deal with this. This is beyond me.
Well, the 2 of us are mostly alone, right?
And when
Like,
they get home,
home,
the door is going to be locked.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
The door is locked.
in my mind, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't. So you were alone in that like sort of council chamber that you were all talking in, that like, room you were in, because Nell doesn't want the verdicts to be public. You can ask her why if you wish. And then the 2 of you had peeled off to go home. And dog food kind of ran after you. So in my mind, you hadn't even left yet, because I did describe this as a pretty long building. So you're not in the hall where everyone's in when this spat goes down, in my mind. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me.
I don't know how big the building is, but if it's a big building, I don't think we would have gotten out of it yet.
Well, I was more so discussing like whether you would still be in that council chamber where she addressed you versus in the hall where there are other kindred.
I don't know.
Oh, I think Dogfood was definitely trying to get Ulrika alone if possible. Like,
okay, so for
trying
that
to kind
reason,
of take her, was trying to take her aside. It was
okay,
aside.
yeah. So
it's not trying to embarrass her. She's trying to warn her.
Yeah. So we'll say you are still in that like long room, the front of which Dr. Charlotte and Nell are still at. And you're like kind of walking towards the back of the room. And Dogfood was going to pull you aside before you got into the hall where everyone was, and this is where the fight breaks out. So what is your new role?
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so that is a tie, I believe.
I had 4.
Yeah. So the tie goes to the vampire who's taking action, which in this case I would say is Dogfood. So Dogfood, you attack. However, you only take 1 damage, Ulrika, from that 4 because of the +1 from all out attack. Like you dodge so well, it's like a glancing blow.
Okay.
So am I still frenzied?
Are you frenzied?
In my mind, you were not frenzied.
Oh, okay.
It was more of like a provocation, in my opinion, which was like I like to play that as a mini frenzy, not as like oh, now you're going to keep trying to kill her until one of you dies. It was more of like a nip to like, to get the the pack in order. So like, this blow lands, Ulrika. You get mostly out of the way. So it just kind of like, a fist slams into your shoulder, kind of like throwing you off balance a little bit. What do the 2 of you do?
I feel like Dogfood has taken a stance as though she's ready to keep going.
Does Ulrika also take that stance?
I just use my daunt to say, you can't tell me what to do. We all deal with our beast. You're not innocent of behaving unlike this.
You've acted
like this yourself.
I would never. This is a really hypocritical thing to say, but it's just what Dogfood says. I would never attack the pack.
Haven't you? Haven't you put us in danger in other ways?
I haven't decided whether you're still in the pack right now.
I'm not talking about right now.
I would never do what you just did.
You put me in danger. Where were you when we were getting attacked?
You put yourself in danger.
You went out to put computers in a car and we never saw you again.
I didn't know you were going to go in there and try your best to get yourself killed.
I was where you left me. I didn't go anywhere. You were there and you left to go put the computers in the car and we never saw you again. You have a weakness. So were you looking out for the
I was going to say, this one is going to be
pretty personal.
This is this is going to be tough. So at this point, it is going to be like a frenzy provocation. Because your Bubba is your touchstone.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me the same roll. It's going to be your let's see, it's going to be
again.
your willpower.
That's only 2
you don't have any more.
Versus 2, or actually versus 3, but you can add bonus dice equal to your humanity divided by 3.
Which is, am I humanity 5? What's 5 divided by 3? I'm an idiot.
2.5.
2.
So
like,
2.5.
Yeah, it's rounded down. Yeah, it's rounded down.
Okay, so 2 plus 2. All right.
So I was using my daunt too, so I don't know if that does anything. Like
I got 2 successes
against dog food.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what's like upping this to a 3 of a difficulty because you are not backing down. There is going to be like a slight intimidation. I'm going to treat this like it's like a wolf fight. And we'll get to that in a moment. So I'm sorry, Patrick, what was your roll?
I got 2 successes.
You got 2 successes, so you fail.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm confusing the player with the character. Dog food almost basically gets on like all 4s, and you start to see like some of the claws come out. This is a fury frenzy. A lot of things happen all at once as this happens. So, Charlotte, you are aware of what's happening. Elizabeth, you are aware of what's happening. Charlotte, you actually see Nell start to move as she sees like the situation has very much escalated.
I'm not aware. I don't care.
Elizabeth already left the door. She's like in the hall walking to the car.
I'm like so mad. I'm just gonna walk home. Yeah. I'm so mad. I'm so tired of this.
Charlotte, your back is actually turned to them. You heard something, but you're used to hearing them argue, right? And then you're like talking to Nell, and you see Nell's face kind of be like, oh shit. Like you see like that same cold fire, like kind of like get in her eyes as she's like, oh God, I have to work today, you know? And she starts to move.
I'm sorry.
So
we're still friends, Tabby. Like,
no, I know we're still friends.
We get on really well in real life. Like Tabby's in my home game.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sweating.
No, a lot of good points were made. And I think this points out one of my favorite things about Vampire, which is that some of the way that dog food has acted has not been in their best interests. And rather than owning up to that, in the pack's best interest, and rather than owning up to that, they're angry that you brought it up. So what's going to happen is we'll do one round of essentially like an opposed roll between Dogfood and Ulrika. And then in the second round, that's when the rest of, that's where Charlotte can get involved and potentially Nell if they choose to. So Dogfood, this time, like I said, your claws have activated. So I believe you require a rouse check for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you do the rouse check. That's the downside of like an actual frenzy. They involuntarily just kind of like come out.
So I passed my rouse check.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and make a I'm gonna say I don't feel like you're being very dexterous at this point. Feel free to make the case against it, but I think it would be strength and brawl.
Yeah.
Ulrika. I'm going to have you roll something a bit unique. Now it's up to you if you want to, if you'd like to do something differently.
Okay.
When you see dog food come down, like almost like on all fours, and you see the claws come out, and And because of like the struggles you've seen Dogfood go through over the past few weeks, you do know from your relationship with them and just like your relationship with animals that what happens here is going to establish like who's in the leadership role. Given your daunt, I will allow you to use your intimidation in place of brawl.
Okay.
Mostly because in my opinion, this is going to be so like it's going to be like you. I don't know how to do, I can picture it in my head, but this is if you choose to like dodge versus like punching or something like that, this is going to very much be like a attack of a willpower versus an attack of like trying to hit him. It's up to you though. You can still pull out your knife and stab him. It's your character. You can do whatever you want. But I want you to know if you're trying to like bring this dog to heel, you can also employ those tactics. Ulrika has been around dogs. She knows how they work.
Right. I was thinking that because whenever this has ever happened before, Ulrika has never really hit back. She's always just got out of the way.
Yes.
And
I don't want to punish you for that.
No. But she does that because she never wanted to hurt anyone or Dogfood. The only reason I punched Charlotte is because I was hangry and,
yeah, that was that beast we were talking about.
Yeah. So I don't know if I don't want to stab Dogfood and I don't really want to hurt Dogfood.
Yeah.
I'm mad about what happened because I felt like they abandoned us or whatever. So I think I've just got to try to get out of the way, just kind of step out of the way or whatever, like I've always done.
Okay.
Because I don't mind verbal combat, but I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and roll your melee attack, Dogfood, and Ulrika. Roll same roll as last time. Roll for your dodge.
Okay, and I can still use fleetness because I still have that. Yeah. All right.
And are you doing an all-out attack or just a normal attack?
I feel like Dogfood is probably going for an all-out attack again.
Okay.
She's barely in control, and this also means a lot to her.
Okay. So Ulrika got a 5.
Okay, I got 4.
Okay. So, is that with the +1 from the all-out attack?
No, that's 4, then the +1.
Okay. So you like come like crashing at her, almost like I said, like a dog, claws out. Ulrika like kind of very quickly pivots out of the way, sending you crashing into like the wooden benches on the other side of her. I envision you both in like an aisle between these wooden benches. One of them cracks in half, splinters fly everywhere. You hear boots on the ground as like Nell comes like racing to assist, and you see Charlotte behind her. And then we'll start at the top of next combat, and everything just kind of happens at once. Charlotte, what would you like to do? You're muted.
Thank you. Charlotte would like to step in and try to get their attention.
Okay. In what way? Like try to break it up or try to stop Dogfood from fighting, or
I want to stop them both from fighting. So I want to gain both of their content. Like, I know that they will be very unhappy with me trying to manipulate them, but I would like to get their eye contact for them to calm down.
Okay. I think Dogfood probably same thing.
Yeah, same again.
Yeah.
I'll get one more of those, please. They're great. I really.
Ulrika, same thing. Just try to play tango, or sorry, you're like a matador.
Yeah, like I just have a fucking get out my red cloak and just I could do that. Is there any way, if I can't do what I'm thinking in my head, I'll do the dodge thing again. Okay. Since I have Daunt on, is there any way I could just like like stare, like intimidate them to the point where it's like I'm gonna not do that?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I'll try to do that because I don't want to do this either. I wanted to go get a latte. I don't like.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Patrick, go ahead and roll your dice. Ulrika, we're gonna have you roll because you're in combat. And because like this is happening the way it's happening. Normally this would be like a charisma roll, but in this case it's going to be composure because this is a lot to take in, especially with the physical transformation.
Right.
And then go ahead and add your intimidation as well as your bonus from Daunt.
Okay. I have 5.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I got 4 this time.
Damn it. Okay. Patrick.
I know. That's my lucky number. Which, like, honestly, if I hit you, you're going to die. So
I know.
It's good that I'm not. Like, it's good that I'm rolling like semi badly.
Right.
Yeah. The thing here, we'll talk about that in a second, is that Ulrika's not trying to dodge so much as she's like trying to be like, get down. So we'll resolve that damage in a second.
Yeah.
But let's also get Charlotte's roll. Charlotte, let's roll same deal. This is like this is a lot. You've seen spats in your coterie, but this is a lot of unresolved issues boiling at once, and the pressure cooker, the whistle is going off, and this is a lot. So I'm gonna have you roll same thing, your composure, and then I would say leadership, like to try to like simmer it down. You don't have leadership though. So instead we'll say, I don't feel like this is persuasion. I feel like it would be closer to maybe insight, trying to, them, trying to appeal to what you think will get them to stop fighting.
We'll never stop.
This is the game now. We're going to do another 2 episodes.
Yeah.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay.
We haven't done anything.
It's so weird that a fight's happening, not to be a part of it.
Okay. So as Dogfood like kind of lashes out, and Charlotte, you like try to interpose yourself between the two. There's a I forgot to roll for Nell.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of dice.
That's something you always want to hit.
Right? Okay, well that saved. Good news is that saved that 4 damage that was going to be split between Lidija and Tabby. That's not going to happen now.
Okay, good.
That's the bright side of that, because Nell's rolls completely crap on everybody else's. With 7 successes. It's light work. So with your bonus, you're at a 5. With 7 beats that. So it's going to be 3 superficial damage because you're going to take 1 extra from the all-out attack. So it all happens all at once, despite how long it took us to resolve the rules. You see Ulrika try to like intimidate Dogfood into not doing this. It does work mildly. You see Dogfood kind of like question themselves, even though they're still racing forward. You see Charlotte kind of interpose herself between these two, fighting kindred, and that gives Dogfood a little bit pause. They still look like they're going for it, or like they're going to push Charlotte aside. And at that moment, you just see like a very, almost like a I don't know how to describe it. Let me think here. Like a blur, and then a crunch. And as you're like anticipating like the blow before like you manage to like bring Dogfood to heal, you see like her knee in the back of her like sort of in the back of Dogfood's back, and her arm like very firmly around her neck, Nell like on top of Dogfood with Dogfood pinned. And as she brings down her full force of weight and like pulls your like neck up, Dogfood, like I said, you take that 2 superficial damage as you feel like your spine, almost like your undead spine, like crack a little bit in place. And then she says to you, Dogfood, and combined with Ulrika bringing you to heal, I'm going to say this like gets you to stop, because this is like it exceeds like your willpower. She says, not in my house. And you take 1 superficial willpower damage from the humiliation.
Good for me. Yeah.
From the humiliation. And, Nell just kind of looks at you all still with like Dogfood, like in this like sort of, position in this lock. And she's just like, I've gone out on so many limbs for you all. Not here. Do not make me look like an idiot. Get it together.
So Dogfood kind of like screams in frustration.
I'll let you go when I think you're good.
And she stops. Like she knows she's beaten. But
with that, when she sees that you're beaten, Nell gets off of you. You feel her knee kind of come up out of your back, and you're tender. The force with which she came down on you, although she wasn't trying to hurt you, was immense. Yeah. It was a lot of speed and a lot of power. And you also get the idea that she's done this before.
Dogfood goes into a full sulk and storms off.
Nell looks at you, Charlotte, and she says, you need to get your house in order.
That has become very clear.
There's a lot of things in the night that are already trying to destroy you. You can't destroy each other. This whole thing comes apart. You got to get it together. I don't know how you're going to do it. You have your work cut out for you. And if I had a heart, it would go out to you. But you got to get this shit together, because you look like a joke.
I'm gonna go get my latte now.
And Charlotte, you are almost like a little, I'm going to just give you this tidbit. It's interesting to you that Nell addressed you as the leader. And this slight is not lost on Ulrika or Dogfood. But you've already humiliated yourselves enough for one day, so you're not going to take any more willpower damage.
That's why I left before I could get any fucking worse.
I'm not that mean. Especially after the punch and everything, like you get the idea, Charlotte. The shame falls on you in waves of like, she's disappointed. No, and she's one of those like that, because of your friendship with her, the disappointment kind of like feels heavy on you. And you've always had these tiffs before, but you've never really had them in front of other people.
It kind of makes it very clear to Charlotte, how childish she has been with Dogfood and a lot of their arguments. And Charlotte, I think, is like just kind of reevaluating herself, and the example she's been presenting to the rest of the coterie.
Oh.
Fucking heavy episode.
Yeah. You all take a minute, The car ride back is very awkward.
So,
and I mean, Elizabeth, you would notice this because you've been waiting in the car.
Home. No, I walked home.
You walked
I went home.
Yeah.
No, I walked home. I went into the coffee shop and I closed it and locked the doors. And on the door, there's a sign that says, if you want to act like animals, you can sleep outside like animals. And it says the coffee shop will be unlocked in the morning. Please think about your actions.
So Dogfood, after she stropped off, turned into a dog as soon as she was like out of sight, and basically just ran off into the urban jungle, I guess, wherever she feels at home.
Yeah, they have to find a room. They have to find a room for the night. Elizabeth locked all the doors, and you can see like Loretta in there, like with the shotgun.
Nell is like in the truck. She dropped you off at this party, so she's not going to leave you without a ride. She kind of gets the idea that Elizabeth left. And she sees Dogfood, we'll say. Like she sees a dog that looks somewhat familiar to her kind of slink off. And she just looks at the two of you, Ulrika and Charlotte, like, do you still want to ride?
I'm gonna go back to where I used to sleep.
I'll take that ride.
Another nightclub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I need to go to the club and have a snack.
Oh, the sign is on the door, but there are 2 blattes outside.
Oh, well, it's too late. I'm gone. I'm already gone.
There's 2
gone
blattes.
Off into the night.
Yeah. Ulrika struts off. Nell just kind of sighs, even though, no breath comes out. And you get into the passenger seat beside her. She just kind of like looks at you, Charlotte, and she's like, I'm sorry, that's rough.
We deserve it.
She puts her keys in the ignition, turns it, and that'll be where we take our second break. I think everybody needs a break.
Oh my God.